You are listening to And That's Okay, the podcast devoted to encouraging you to live in your truth in a society where reality is not what's socially popular. This is a community where you can be a novice about anything and feel comfortable about it. Join me as I have the conversations I wish I had years ago and want to hear more of. Nothing is off limits and there is no shame or judgment here. Listen, doing all this self-work is bound to piss a few people off, and that's okay. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Angelique Royale. Let's get into it. These are my thoughts and my thoughts only. So you probably read the title and was like, oh man, what's she gonna say? What's she gonna talk about? But it's my thoughts. And I felt like I wanted to say something about parenting. Because a lot of people ask about babies like having them is easy as baking a cake. And everybody can't bake. Like, everybody can't bake. Kids, to me, in my opinion, is a huge life adjustment. Huge life adjustment. It's a beautiful blessing. They are amazing little human beings. But you got to raise these little human beings from scratch. Literally from scratch. And then you have to hope that they turn out to be amazing. Because it could go either way. Like, they're still people. They still want to have their own personality. You can instill as much as you can in them. But when they grow up, they still going to do what they want to do. Like, you have no control over that. And a lot of people will be like, ask, when are you going to have kids? How long you been married? Are y'all ready yet? Like, it's something that's really easy. Like, kids are a whole life decision. And it's something where when we bring kids into our worlds, it changes completely. It's like a 360 because now you no longer have to worry about yourself, but you have to make sure this person is taken care of. This person has everything that they need. You have everything that you need. And it's like, that's not easy. Like, I have a lot of friends. I'm not even going to say a lot of friends. I have a few friends that have kids. And most of them be like, don't do it. Don't do it. Or don't rush to do it. It's not the same. Kids is definitely a big deal. Something, if you could wait, don't rush. And I really be like paying attention and looking at everyone's situation. Like, I love kids. I love babies. I love little kids, especially ones that talk so smart and so clear. It's something that I'll be like, oh my God. But then I know you have them days where they like are little terrorizers and you just like, oh my God too at the same time. And for me, I'm like, I'm still raising myself. I'm still parenting myself. I am healing, learning some new things, unlearning some new things. And now you want me to bring in this little human being that knows nothing, nada, nothing. And I have to teach them everything. Teach them how to talk, teach them how to walk, how to use the bathroom, how to communicate, how to express their emotions, how to regulate themselves, how to take care of themselves, how to eat, how to say no, to understand the difference between yes and no, to understand the vocabulary. Like, I have to teach them all this while at the same time I'm still learning too. Like, it's so crazy to me. And shout out to all the moms and dads out there that are really out here doing it. I see you. I love you. Babies are amazing and such a blessing. You are doing the best that you can and you are doing great. There's no rule book. So you out there doing the damn thing, and I appreciate you for that. If no one told you today that you're doing a great job, I'm telling you right now that you're doing a great job. You're doing the best that you can, and you're learning at the same time. You're learning. Every child is different, just like every human being is different. You can't apply the same stuff to one child to the next child. It might not work. It might work. It might not work. Every child is like a little human being. Yes, they're children. Yes, they're young. They ain't been here that long. but they're still a human being. And sometimes I wouldn't even say I get offended, but I know some people like, oh, don't take advice from people who don't have kids. Don't take advice from people who never done it. But people may have experienced something similar. Like, I didn't raise my own kids, but I have little cousins that I was in their life from the day they came home from the hospital. I babysat them all the time when I was younger. And that was one of the reasons where it was just like, they taking up all my time. I'm not having kids no time soon. Like, no thank you. But I love them as if they're my own. Like, I have that special bond of having that relationship with them because I was there from when they came home from the hospital. My aunt brought them home. They was like my babies. I am also considered my aunt's oldest daughter, and she is my aunt because she's been there ever since I was born, and I was always with her a lot when I was younger. And that's why she loves me the way she does. And it doesn't take away from parenting because it takes a village. It takes a village to raise these kids. As parents, you can't do it by yourself. You have to have your support system. And some of these people that may not have kids can still be of a support system to you. And it doesn't mean that they don't know anything about parenting. They may have experience from being godparents or being older cousins or older sisters or younger sisters and brothers that may have babysat or may have to watch their younger siblings or watch friends' kids. Like, some people get experience in different ways rather than being a direct parent. I feel like sometimes people like that can help and also build trust. And at the same time, you're responsible for the advice you take. At the end of the day, you can take it, you can let it go in one ear and out the other. You can do whatever you want with it. And it's all about the experience and what you can take from it. It's not something that you have to, it's law that you need to do what I'm telling you to do. No, I'm just giving you my idea. If I was in that situation, this is how I will possibly handle it. I may have never been in this situation, but I will hope that I will be able to handle it this way. And even like growing up, I felt like my mom did a great job with how she raised me. It's something that I want to take from that and add to it. Like, I'm doing my own healing journey. I really have like this goal of being so healed that nobody's brokenness hurts my children. When God blesses me with my own children, I want to be educated enough and experienced enough to give them the tools and resources that they need to handle whatever they come to me with. If they come to me with something, I can be like, oh, this is what this is, XYZ. This is what you need to do, or this is what you can do. Or if they come to me with something that I've never heard of, at least I know where to go to find the answers to help them better navigate life. Like, I really that's the ultimate goal for me, is to be that type of parent. And I'm working on myself right now to get to that point. I feel like it's something that is a part of my purpose. And it's also it's also something I find interesting myself when I'm learning how to deal with different type of people, when I'm learning how to better express my emotions, how to regulate my nervous system, how to be calm in the most craziest situations. Because kids literally watch everything you do. They're like sponges. They soak up everything they see every day because they're watching and they're learning from you. And it's like, you want to be the best example that you could possibly be, but you can only control so much at the same time too. You can only control, you can control what they go out into the world and see and what they're being told by their friends and how their friends been raised. It's one of those where you can't control it. But if they were to come back to you with that information and you don't agree with it, at least you'll have the proper tools to say, hey, that's a different view, but this is also my view, which could be better, which could be the same, but at the same time, they're still going to make the decision of whether they want to listen to you or listen to somebody else. Like, at the end of the day, it's only so much that you can control. With kids, they're unique. You don't know what you're going to get out of them. But I feel like babies is just such like an innocence that bring into your world when you're an adult and you've been through chaos, and then you get this baby that doesn't know anything about the world, and they just laugh and they're just happy and they're upset about the smallest little things, and you be like, child, you just don't know. But it kind of also feeds the inner child inside of you too, because now you can do these things, these kiddie things, and not look weird, or no one look at you funny for wanting to do some kiddie things to feed your inner child too. So at the end of the day, I say all of that to say, like, kids are a blessing. It takes a village. But don't close out the friends that may not have kids, but still can give some type of advice or a different perspective on things. Don't shut them out. Don't shut them out at all. Because it's something where it's like, they may not have kids, but they may want kids in the future. So they may be doing some extra reading or talking or having conversations and learning more. And this is something that they heard from another mother that they want to give to you. But you may not see past that because it's coming from them and they don't have any kids. Because it takes a village. It takes a community to raise these kids. Who they're around, who they see, who they talk to, who cares for them. I love my friends' kids. They're smart. They talk. Some of them I feel like they've been here before. But it brings me joy. It brings me joy, and I'm pretty sure that when it's my turn, it will be something that will be even more joyful. Now, do not ask me how many kids I'm having. I tell everyone right now that I'll be like, ask me after the first one. Let me get through the first one first. Let's take this baby steps at a time. Let me get through one. And then how that goes, I'll let you know. I'll definitely let you know. But it's something that is an amazing to create life. And then you have the opportunity to raise this child the way you want to raise them. You can change anything. If you didn't sound like the way things were done when you were growing up, you can do it different. You can see what personality this child has and learn from them. It's a beautiful experience. I love seeing it. I love when people get pregnant. People have babies. They come, oh, we're having a baby. Yay. Friends call me, hey girl, I'm pregnant. I'm like, oh my God, I have a baby. You know, it's just something, it's very renewing, that I'll say, when new life is coming. It's very renewing. It's very precious. I love when women have babies, when women get pregnant. It's amazing just to see the progress, pop the babies out, to hear the story. No pregnancy is the same. Every pregnancy is different. Every parent is different. Every child is different. It's amazing. But did that title make y'all, want to tussle a little bit? When I thought of the title too, I was like, ooh, they probably gonna get me parenting from a wife with no kids. What she got to say about kids? What she gonna tell us what to do? I ain't tell y'all to do nothing, but to just be open-minded when it comes to your friends that may not have kids, or family that may not have kids, that can provide a different perspective, that may have witnessed something that they took inventory of and was like, okay, when I do this, this is something that I want to keep in mind for my children. Then you come across with a similar situation and they're like, hey, it's one of those where it's just like, just be open. Just be open. Sometimes you'd be surprised at the people you talk to. I personally don't give advice unless asked, or 2 cents, unless you're someone close to me, and then I might say like, hey, well, blah, 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 blah. Or I heard this from something that she did this way or she did that way. Maybe you could find out how it could work for you. Something like that. But just be open. Don't say you have to do it. Just listen. You'll be surprised. Because everybody have experiences just a little bit different. I may not be a direct parent. I may not have popped the baby out yet. But I've been around a lot of babies throughout my life. I have friends that have had babies that I've asked questions to. I have an aunt. I have cousins. I have friends. Like, I have brothers that have had kids. Like, it's one of those where, like, you just never know. And it's like you get as much information as you can and then you apply it what best works for you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Join the community and follow the podcast on IG at And That's Okay Podcast to stay updated. We would love to have you. Until next time, remember to spread love, kindness, and make the choices that bring you peace.